It is the news plenty of us welcome with open arms. Those falling gas prices. The average price for a gallon of regular unleaded in Austin right now is $1.96. That is a full $1.13 lower than this time last year. But low gas prices for us could impact the Texas economy. Oil prices dipped below $50 a barrel, and that is a big drop from just a few months ago. And it has a bigger impact on the state's budget because Texas is producing about 3 times as much oil as it did just 5 years ago.
Oh, we're going to do tax cuts. Okay. There's room for tax cuts.
That is Lieutenant Governor-elect Dan Patrick, who says even with oil prices dropping, he wants tax cuts. Patrick ran on that issue. KXAN's Phil Prazen wanted to know if tax cuts are still realistic as the state's oil revenue decreases.
That's all state funds.
Money's on the mind of state lawmakers at this Texas Public Policy Foundation panel. While they discussed how we should spend our money, the first question from the audience was how big of an impact will these low gas prices have?
Because of the trickle-down impact of the energy markets, it's significant.
Close to $4 billion a year come into the state from the oil production tax. And while the gas industry hurts, the state budget feels the pain. When drivers pull up to the pump and see these prices, it's easy to get excited. But for those with their eye on the Texas budget, well, some of them are getting a little worried. It reminds people of the 1980s, when around 20% of our economy was based on the oil and gas industry. And when oil prices fell, our tax revenue and the rest of the economy fell with it.
That definitely was a change.
Dr. Vanskin says we're in better shape now. With less than 3% of people working in oil, it doesn't prop us up like it once did. And because Texans aren't paying as much at the pump, they'll have more money to spend, boosting the economy.
Today we have a much more diversified economy than we did back in the 1980s.
Thanks to that, the tax cut push continues, and it starts next week, when lawmakers can start to prove if our Texas economic miracle is for real and not an oil pipe dream. Phil Prazen, KXAN News.
For some perspective, in the last legislative session, lawmakers claimed they cut taxes, but most of us probably didn't notice. According to the conservative group ALEC, lawmakers made changes to 2 taxes, both that affect companies mostly. They reformed the margins tax and cut about $1 billion from business taxes.